Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of green in. I'm just going to start with a leaf. I've never used this green before. You can do a color test where you just get like a sheet of white paper and you dab all the colors that you feel like using next to each other. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, does something feel a bit off about this? Or does it feel like it's like making me really happy? Like people do that. I should do that. You should probably do that. But for some reason, there's a part of me that just really likes to see what happens as well. So for the sake of just being really authentic with how I actually do it, I'm going to just chuck this green on and fucking see what happens. Sometimes I see a color combo when it's on the canvas and I'm like, ugh, I don't like it. And then I go and cover it. But the times when that's happened, they've ended up as like my favorite pieces. And if I wasn't trying to cover up that color, I wouldn't have done the extra thing that I did that I ended up loving so much. So it's like, should I be color testing first or should I just keep doing it this way? I'm just going to do whatever I want. And I recommend that you do too, because again, we're not aiming at perfection. We're just aiming at trying shit and not being mad at ourselves for it, because that's going to help us through life in every other way. Imagine how this is going to benefit you in maybe there's another area of life that you really want to get into. There's something that you want to try and you're so afraid of trying it because like, what if you fail and blah, blah, blah. If you practice doing shit like this on a canvas and being like, because like, I really like where this is going right now. I could put this green on and hate it and that would suck, but it's also not the end of the world because I can just cover it up, right? So it's like, that in itself is getting past myself. I'm expanding my comfort zone by doing that. I'm trying something and then I'm not feeling like a failure if I do hate it. I'm realizing this is a moment to pivot and try something else. I'm learning more. I'm finding this fun way of doing things along the way. So just trying shit on your canvas, you then take into your everyday life. Like let's say you want to start a podcast and you're so scared of failing it or whatever. If you're painting and you're getting over yourself and you're just trying shit and trying shit and trying shit and you're not mad at yourself, well, maybe you are, but you're getting used to not being mad at yourself. You're having love for yourself in these moments. Like then you go and start a podcast. You're not going to have these like ridiculously high standards in your head that you can't even meet because they're not even real or achievable. You're going to have realistic energy inside you of like, hey, I know what it's like to try something and fuck it up and learn and try and fuck up and learn and try and fuck up and learn. Like you break down this barrier of everything needing to be perfect in your head. That is a fucking blessing. Such a blessing. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna slap it on and see what fucking happens. I don't know if you can tell, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but I'm a little bit disheveled today. And initially I was like, oh no, I won't film today because I want to show up as like my best self, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, what do you mean your best self? Your whole self is great, and there's so many different variations of yourself. And this is an authenticity practice. And you know what? The times when I want to paint the most are the times when I'm feeling like I just want to be in my little cocoon, nursing my energy. And it's not to say that anything bad's happened. I'm actually really good. I had the best day ever yesterday. Like, it was incredible. The energy was so high. So what's happening is like, I was vibrating at a frequency that I haven't vibrated at before. Or maybe I have, but not often or not in a long time. And it was very, very, very high frequency. I literally felt like I was on mushies all day, even though I wasn't. And that energy is something that I'm integrating now, right? So it's like, I was like, doo, at this kind of energy. Not that I'll hold that kind of level of high all the time because we have seasons, right? We've got like inner summer, winter, autumn, spring. I'm in my inner autumn, my luteal phase at the moment. And if you're a guy watching this and you don't know about that, definitely look that stuff up and learn about it, because the more you can know about women and our hormonal cycles, the better of a time on earth you will have. And women, if you don't know about it, look it up. It's going to help you feel so much more balanced and grounded. I have an app called Stardust. It's not my app, but I have downloaded that app. And it tells, you track your period and stuff, and it tells you what season you're in your cycle and what your hormones are doing. And it just, like, those times when you're feeling really down and you don't know why, and it's like it's still too far off from your period, so you're like, oh, it can't be PMS. Like, you're probably just in your luteal phase.
And you're probably not even sad. You're probably just lower energy. Maybe you are sad. Maybe you're needing to transmute things, and things do like to be transmuted when we're in our beautiful luteal and inner winter phases. So anyway, I digress. I'm in my luteal phase. So my energies should be quite like on the wind down, like a little bit more slow, kind of like what it is today. But yesterday, the universe, me, source, all of that, the energy consciousness that I am was like luteal phase. What luteal phase? Like I fucking flew out the other side of some kind of energetic portal yesterday, and I was just like, and overcame so many fears, did so many things to create, so many things happened in alignment. It was amazing. And I was with Haley, and so her and I just bounced this massive energy off each other, and it was incredible. It was exactly what it needed to be. And today I'm like, because I can't hold that constantly. That would be bananas. I would burn out. And also I've got inner seasons, but I will start to vibrate closer to that as a resonant frequency, where I just sort of like harmonize with that level of creativity and bravery and that kind of thing. So my body needs to go through this sort of integration process where I allow like everything that the energy that was within me yesterday to sort of like land and grow its roots into my human body, I guess, if that's the way I could describe it to help you understand. So I'm feeling a little flat, to be honest. And I really wanted to paint. And I was standing here looking at this canvas like, oh, but I want to paint, but I don't feel like I'm up to filming, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, just, what are we learning? We're learning how to be authentic. So let's lead by example and show up exactly as we are. I'm no less of a fucking amazing being just because I'm feeling a little disheveled, and neither are you. I want to talk to you about something on your spiritual journey. This has been on my mind a lot today, and maybe I am meant to talk to you about it now. Usually I would try and understand these things a little bit more before communicating them and sharing the wisdom. But again, authenticity, it's coming through. We can work it out together. So, all right. Early on in my awakening, it's not that something's just coming through for the first time now. I'm going to just tell you this understanding that I've had that's been sort of like flying around in my awareness, and it's been kind of, there's something in me that's being like asked to express. It's just more that I don't really know how to express it without, I don't want to hurt anyone. And it's not that I'm going to say anything hurtful. I just don't want to, I never want to disempower anyone, and I never want to like invalidate anyone, right? So just be mindful that like with what I'm going to try and say, my intentions are good and to help you. So earlier on in my awakening, I was obviously influenced by the framework of the people who were helping me out, like the psychics and the healers and stuff like that, who were helping me through that. And it was exactly what it was meant to be, right? It helped a lot. I look at where I am today. Super conscious person, living out my dreams, inspiring and helping others. Like everything that happened was meant to happen. Everything was all beautiful and good, and I'm grateful for all of it. But like over time, I've developed my own framework. So originally, like I didn't know what any of this was and what any of it meant. And so I would have experiences, and then as these experiences would sort of unfold for me, I would be like, hey, like this happened. What does this mean? Or whatever. And, they would use their language to channel, and I'd be like, oh, okay, so this like psychic has said this and this and this. And like some of those languages and frameworks I still use, a lot I don't. And that's fine. Like we're meant to grow and develop our own, understanding of things. And sometimes our understanding of things will be shared understanding with others, and other times it might be unique to you, and all of that is fine and good. It's nothing like, we don't all have to have the same understanding or framework or language about things. So anyway, early on, it made sense. Like the way that it was getting communicated to me was like, there's a team of guides, a galactic team, all of this, who are helping you along on your journey. And where I was at, we live in this system that is built around us having people above us all the time. Like at school, the teacher's above you. In the army, there's like sergeant above you. I don't know. Never been in the army. The government's above you. The law is above you. There's always someone above you. And that's like this hierarchical, patriarchal structure that we live in. So we're very used to it. And so it's hard for us to fathom a world outside of that kind of thinking. So early on in the awakening process, well, for me anyway, it made sense. Like someone was saying to me, like, hey, there's this like team of spirits basically who are helping you along. And it kind of comes across as like, they know more than you. They're above you kind of because they have the answers and you don't. And you're not like integrated into yourself fully yet. So you kind of like lean on that guidance. And you have other people that channel this information through for you. And then you learn to channel through your own information. And it's like, you're working with your team, your guides, whatever. I don't want to like challenge your beliefs if these are your beliefs, but I also do because it's gonna make you more powerful in a really beautiful way and unbox yourself more, uncap yourself more. But like that's not above you, right? So I remember a little while ago I stopped using the term guides. It felt like I was lying to myself to use it, because I stopped seeing it like that. So at first in my awakening journey, I would see guides, I would see beings and everything. I would see them in my third eye, and I would have such visceral bodily experiences based on what I was experiencing and seeing, and then the ripple and effect in my real life would change as a result of that. So it was like a very real situation that was happening. So I'm not discounting when you are seeing these things and when people are channeling these things. It's not like that's not happening. It's just that that's not the limit, right? So it's not like you're this little dumb human and there's all these like spirits and guides above you and you don't know anything and you have to wait till they can like tell you something until you can get through to understand it, and then finally like you have the help that you need. That's very like, it makes sense when we're used to thinking like that, but what's actually happening is at the end of the day, we're all the same source consciousness, right? We're all the same energy. We are all the universe. We're all source. So what if it was you here? So instead of it being you, and then the healer or the psychic, the guide, and then the galactic team, and then source, what if it was just you, source? One and the same. Because that's actually what it is. So when you're seeing guides and beings and all of that sort of stuff, or someone else is seeing it for you and channeling it, that's just coming from the framework of hierarchy. Ah! There's like 1,000 little ducks outside. Hello. Oh, okay, that's a beautiful sign that I am meant to be talking about this. Okay. Yeah, so it's like, that's coming from the framework of a hierarchical structure. What if you said to yourself, okay, I'm setting the intention to integrate source consciousness into my body and not limit myself underneath this belief that I have to wait for answers from something outside of myself or someone above me. You would just channel the information that you need straight away into who you are. You would resonate at unconditional love. You would have everything that you need, all your own guidance, direction. You would inspire so many people. You'd be so magnetic because you'd be resonating there at source consciousness. Like, don't you want that, right? Yes, right? Like, who doesn't? It's who you are. It's who you are at the core. So this, when you've got people like channeling like Bashar or whoever else, these are like, sure, if the guy who channels Bashar truly believes that there is a alien above him, between him and source, that's fine. Like, he truly believes that, and that is his reality, and he is seeing that. So it's not like it's not true, because he is experiencing that. But really, the information that's coming through is coming through, it's from source. However, it's coming through his human ego, right? Everything comes through our human ego. Everything does. That's why we want to be self-aware to understand what's coming through. And if it's identifying with unconscious ego behaviors, which could be to our detriment and to the detriment of others, or if it's conscious ego in alignment with the life we're trying to create, with unconditional love, with alignment, that kind of thing. So sometimes I wonder with people like who channel like, you know, Bashar and stuff like that, I'm like, is he aware that he is actually just Source speaking and he's created this ego facade to get his message out there to more people? Or is he unaware and he genuinely thinks that this person or this alien or whatever is above him, giving him the information between him and Source? And like, I don't know, I feel like if he was channeling this much information this often, he would have a clear understanding that he is just the universe. And so maybe this is just like a thing he's doing because, if that is the case, if it is just an identity, sorry, I'm literally not even painting anymore. If it is just an identity that he's created to create like a facade, it does make sense in the way that ego is attracted to ego. And also, like when I say ego is attracted to ego, like honestly, ego is not a bad thing. Our life on earth is kind of anchored by ego. It's our identity. It's just you want to have a ego that you're aware of, that you're kind of not unconscious of, so that you can interact with others and create your life on earth, that kind of thing. So when I say ego is attracted to ego, I mean more like the unconscious ego, the part of ego in people where they don't believe that they're good enough on their own and that they need someone above them telling them what to do. Not very good at like autonomous thinking yet. Like that's like I was there, you know. That's the way, again, like I was saying before, we've been raised like this. The collective kind of exists in this kind of reality right now, and that's okay. It is what it is. So if you're in a place in life where you're like, okay, I don't really trust myself, I don't really believe in myself more than anything else, that's why I need to rely on other people right now. That's okay, like I was there too. That's quite normal, but you want to aim at getting to a place where you trust yourself more than you trust anything else. And when I say yourself, I mean like your intuition, your body, your energy, just your existence on earth as a human being. You want to trust yourself. And when you can get to that kind of place, you're just going to be channeling through like source consciousness. And anything that makes you think that you're not is just like a self-worth thing, thinking that something else needs to be between you and the absolute light of awareness that you are. There's actually nothing above you. There's nothing outside of you. So when you're seeing something come through, if you're seeing a guide, that's just source showing up as what you need at the time for what you understand, right? So like when I stopped seeing guides all of a sudden, I didn't need it anymore. It's not like I pushed it away and decided against it. I was like, wait, what? I remember being like, but I felt peaceful about it. I only questioned it like months later when I was like, is this normal? Like, because I was like, I'm still super intuitive. I'm still super in touch with everything I need to be doing. I just don't see guides anymore. Like, and it just sort of happened naturally because my own source consciousness didn't need to show up for me in that way anymore. It started to just be bodily communication, intuitive knowing, understanding, following my energy. I do have uncertainty sometimes, for sure. Still going through this like human process of integrating this source consciousness, but it's running through me enough now that it doesn't need to show up in any other way other than just my pure essence of who I am. And it's the same for everyone. And so like when you're, you know, like don't idolize me either. Like I'm going to guide you as far as I can, but you have to aim to have your own understanding of things and to trust yourself, right? So it's like if you don't trust yourself yet and you want to trust me in the meantime, sweet, I'll hold your hand. But then there's got to be a point where you let go. You can still hang out in my orbit and we can still like, you know, froth together and stuff. But you have to aim to come to your own version of this where, you know, and if you want to see guides and whatever the rest of your life, sweet. If you want to see like whatever it is that you want to see, however your experience is, sweet. I'm not invalidating it. It's still real. Like what we experience in our imagination is real. That's what's true for us. These things are happening. It's just at the very... It's not actually a scale or a level or anything, but this is like, because the collective consciousness thinks so much in hierarchy right now, it's like hard to describe it as anything else. But It's like, imagine beyond all of that, pull back your perspective as far as you can, beyond like the guides, beyond the aliens, beyond beings and galactics, whatever, angels, everything, beyond all of it, the source consciousness that all of energy exists as is you. It's source and it's you. So when you need something, based on like where you're at, it's going to show up in your imagination however you want. And the more conscious you become, the easier you have a time of like creating the reality in your imagination. So it's like you can still create whatever reality you want in your imagination now, but it becomes more aligned the clearer you get and the more open you are to it developing and changing and everything like that. So when you're watching videos on YouTube about these different starseed races and all of that, what's beyond that? Source. What are you? Source. Do you need the star seeds to tell you that you're doing whatever it is that you're doing? Maybe at the time, yeah, maybe something is that soothing for your soul. I had that. I remember being like, oh my God, like I watched this video about these galactics and they said these things and it just made me feel so good. Made me feel so loved and so peaceful because I didn't know how to love myself then yet, right? And now I know how to love myself. So to me, if I was to watch a video now where someone's talking through the perspective of an alien or whatever, like I know that's just source and I feel like I'm feeling so much love that it would feel almost strange to go within that person's ego framework to try and get love when I have so much of it where I already am. I don't know if any of this makes sense, and I just hope that you understand. I love you so much. What you're experiencing with all this stuff is real, right? Like it's not real, and it is helping you. It is valid. But allow yourself to grow beyond it. Just allow yourself to be the absolute source. Cool. Another little tip for getting past yourself while painting and getting out of your own way is when you start to feel the inevitable frustration of fucking something up and it like burns in your belly a little bit and your like heart starts racing. This is serious stuff. Painting is uncomfortable, but it's so good. Like it's a good uncomfortable. When you inevitably feel that at some point, you're expanding your comfort zone, right? So it's a good thing. So if you're feeling like uncomfortable with what you're doing, like ultimately you want to do things that you love, right? So if you're painting something and you like just actually fucking hate it, just, I don't know, go over it, paint something else. But if you're painting something that you're loving, but you're uncomfortable because maybe you did something that you were like, no, I love it and now I've ruined it. Or you're just like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck, don't ruin it, don't ruin it, don't ruin it. Whatever the thing is. You're uncomfortable maybe. When you're feeling this, I want you to just anchor this thought in your mind. When you feel the discomfort, that is coming from you having an expectation of a specific outcome. Okay? Painting helps us practice the law of detachment, which is surrender, which is how you manifest your dreams. Thank you, painting. So, how do we overcome that? All right, well, when you are feeling that discomfort, first of all, just be like, not upset with yourself for feeling it, for one. It's not like, oh no, I'm failing at the law of detachment. No, that uncomfortable feeling is a really good thing because it means that you're expanding your comfort zone in that moment. And when you do that, you release this chemical in your brain. I can't remember what it is or what it does, but I know it's good. And I'll try and remember what it is at some point and let you know. And then the other thing is, like, it's just such a exhilarating feeling. Like when you expand your comfort zone and you feel that discomfort, on the other side of that is one of the most rewarding feelings, which is going to keep you coming back to painting because you're like, wow, like, look what I did. Like, I was fucking shitting myself and I painted this thing and it's not half bad. Or even if you hate your painting, you can be like, I love that I did it. I felt so good the whole time. But your goal is eventually to love your own work, because we're not going to be fucking punished artists our whole lives being like, no, I'm not talented. No, I'm no good at this. No, like, I'm suffering for my art. Fuck that. Make art that you love. That's how you find your authentic style. I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with this. I fucking love this. This is not my usual style. It is like bright, colorful, eyeballs, snake. That is my style. But I don't usually do the whole still life thing. We're doing this because this is a great starting point for painting and something that we can like do together and learn a lot while doing something like this. The next thing we're going to do is an abstract piece, and there's other lessons in that which are awesome. But this is like a great place to begin, and I'm frothing this. I am loving this so much. Anyway, I can't remember even why I started saying any of that, but painting and the law of detachment. So when you realize that you're stressing about how it's going to turn out, that means that you've got an attachment to a specific outcome. And then you can make the choice in that moment and be like, okay, I am choosing to let go of the attachment that I have to the idea that this painting is going to be anything specific. I'm going to let go of the idea that this painting is going to be the best painting I've ever done. I'm going to let go of the idea of selling this painting or showing anyone this painting. I'm going to let go of the idea of all of it. Even if you have a full-on picture in your mind of what it looks like and you're aiming at that, let it fucking go. You don't know what it's going to end up like. It's not your business to know yet. The universe is going to help guide you along the way. And it's amazing. It's so fun to do it that way. Then you take this practice into your everyday life and you go, all right, I want to, let's say you have a crush on someone and you have a bit of a connection with them. It's not an unrequited crush. And you're like, oh, it'd be so cool if I ended up with this person or whatever. You can say like, yes, universe, my body likes this person. I like this person. That would be cool. I like the idea of that. Like how that appears to me in my vision is really cool. Yes, please. But then you can let go of the outcome. Maybe the universe is dangling a carrot with that person. Maybe the universe is showing you what a yes feels like with that person. But maybe maybe your person is still getting ready for you. Maybe you're still getting ready for your person. And you need to learn to surrender. And so you're going to practice with painting, letting go of whether or not that is actually the person you'll end up with. There's no amount of wishing and daydreaming and internally suffering that's going to make that happen, right? So it's like you have to get to a point where you just love yourself and you're completely okay with however it turns out, and you know that if it's not that person, it's someone more aligned for you, someone better for you, right? And what about in the case of money? Maybe you're like, oh, I really want a pay rise, or I really want my business to earn this much money, and I really want to have this kind of lifestyle. Set the intention, visualize it, meditate on it, align your energy frequency with it. Feel so worthy of it. Feel like it's happening already in your physical body in meditation. Try and keep your vibration as a match with that thing as much as you can. But let go of the idea of it actually being that. Like, whatever it actually ends up being is going to be better than you'd imagined. So if you're attached to the outcome of something, you're essentially limiting yourself, because you're saying to the universe, look, it has to be this because nothing better could be out there for me, which is so not true. And when you're resonating at a beautiful frequency of self-love, there's so much beauty out there for you. There's so many endless potentials that could happen. So this is like a huge lesson in just letting go of what you think it's going to be, vibrating at the frequency match of the thing that you want, but allowing yourself to trust it, like, fuck, what if it's not that? But it's going to be fucking sick, whatever it is. Whether it's love, money, an amazing painting, a conversation with someone even. You could be needing to have a chat with a friend that's like really uncomfortable, and you're going to have this like idea in your head of how you want the outcome to be. Or you might be rehearsing it in your mind, like, okay, how do I have this conversation? That's not bad, but don't waste too much energy doing it. you know? Set your intentions, feel into the energy that you want to be in, but then trust that when you have that conversation, it works out however it's meant to work out. Maybe your friend takes the conversation really well, maybe they don't. Whatever happens, you can't control it. It's going to happen however it's meant to. And so we're learning to surrender. Every single painting you do is another lesson in surrender. You're letting go of the outcome. And then you're practicing that in everyday life. And what a beautiful way to practice it. Like, what a fucking beautiful way to get out of your own way, step into alignment with the flow of the universe, and learn to trust. Like doing it in this beautiful artistic way that engages your inner child. Like, hell yeah. Art is so spiritual. So spiritual. Okay, I'm going to take a little break and let some of this dry and figure out what I want to do with the green and other colors and everything. When I say figure out what I'm going to do, I literally just sit down and I stare at it for a while. I stare at it like this. Like that, literally, and then I lose a bit of focus. And then I just allow like it to sort of build in my mind. And again, this is just like the dance with the universe, the co-creation. I'm saying, okay, intuition, tell me what's up. And then so I'll see the colors and I'll be like, yep, no, I love that, yep. And I'll just watch a bunch of things. And it could be any of these possibilities. It could be anything that comes through. There's nothing that's right or wrong. I could pick whatever. And then I pick the one that I'm the most lit up by, that I see in my mind's eye when I'm staring at it. And I'm not, and when I'm doing this whole staring at it thing, letting it sort of unfold in front of me, I'm in this place where I'm not judging any of it. I'm not like, oh, I couldn't do that, or I couldn't do X, Y, Z, because like whatever it is that you're drawn to, do, try, but then like, again, we're gonna let go of control. We're gonna surrender, let go of the attachment to the outcome. If it doesn't end up being what you saw, that's okay. It's gonna be what it's meant to be. And if you just flow with that until it ends up as something that you're like, fuck, I really like that, then you have done exactly what you're meant to do. Just love what you've created. Because something that you'll learn through this painting journey of like letting go and surrendering and seeing what happens along the way is that you end up building pieces that you really love. And what happens then when you build something that you really love, that means that you are loving yourself. Your creation is a reflection of you, right? And it's not to say like if you do a stick figure and you're like, this stick figure is shit, I must be shit. It's not like that. It's like how you feel about it. So if you draw a stick figure and objectively you look at the stick figure and you're like, yeah, I mean, it was like, blah, blah. But you're so proud of yourself for doing that stick figure, that's the self-love aspect. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, I love it. I love everything I do now because I love myself, right? So it's like, this could stink. Like, I don't know, maybe you hate it. I don't care. And not from a place of like, I don't care, it doesn't matter what you think. Like I genuinely am like, like that means nothing to me if you hate it. Because I love it. And that's what you want from your art. That is such a beautiful, authentic place to be of self-love. Anyway, I'm gonna go stare at my painting now and see what develops in my mind. And if you're loving this course or just the meditations or anything else within Theta, please, please, please share the app, tell your friends. It would mean the world to me. I have a goal of having over 10,000 people on here and just helping empower people. I wanna just light people up on the inside. I want to show people that it's okay to live a full life. It's safe to shine. It's safe to be yourself. I want to show people that, you know, because like half the time we don't even know, we've just been walking around like zombies, like until you start to crack yourself open. And then you're like, holy shit, there's so much more to life. There's so much more I can feel. There's so much more excitement that I can have. And life can be amazing, even when it was hard before. You don't have to live by your stories in your mind of what you're building up around things. Anyway, I just really want to help people because it feels that good. It feels so good to be free. And when I say free, I mean free from the confines of my mind, free from the expectations of other people, free from the stories inside me that I've built over the years of who I thought I was supposed to be. Like, it feels that good, and the impact that I can have on the world is huge. And I know that if I help other people crack themselves open and shine so bright, like the impact that they can have on the world is huge. And what this is doing for the energy on this planet is massive, right? Like if we're all shining bright in our authenticity, the energy will lift. And when I say lift, it'll start to vibrate in harmony. There will be less dissonance and more coherence. It'll be a faster frequency. We'll be more aligned with nature. We'll be happier overall. There'll be more balance for the planet, so that there, less disasters and everything, and then also for all the individuals within it. Less conflict, more love, more, just all of our basic needs would start to be easily met. Like the benefits of you shining bright in your authenticity and loving yourself can literally save the world. So it's my fucking mission to help as many people do that as possible. I'm gonna cry. Yeah, so anyway, tell people about Theta. I love you.